Don't start yet. I'm just going to pin Scott. And I'm going to start my timer. I'm taking a risk tonight. I'm going to also time myself. But Scott, just keep timing because I need to see the screen. Raise your hands if you have memories of Disney movies, maybe as a child with your parents or grandparents, or now with your own children. I remember seeing The Beauty and the Beast with my Nana when I was 4 years old. And I remember watching Mulan for the first time when I was about 9 years old and being drawn to her bravery and rebellion against being pressured to be a submissive wife, as well as her devotion to her family. It's still my favorite Disney movie to this day. Now I'm sharing that joy with our kids by showing them some movies from my childhood on Disney Plus. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, I recently watched a movie called Soul, S-O-U-L, which is also a Disney movie. The premise is that a man named Joe almost dies in an accident. In heaven, he is paired with a soul named 22. In a dialogue between 22 and Joe, he asked her why she sounded like a middle-aged white lady. And if you're not sure, 22 is voiced by Tina Fey. She told him that it's not her real voice. She can choose any voice she wants. She chose that one because it annoys people. So my reaction to that line was, she seems to be saying that middle-aged white ladies sound annoying. That seems a little racist, sexist, and ageist to me. So I decided I wanted to examine some other Disney movies to see to look more closely at them to see if there's any stereotyping based on race, sex, and age. As if Disney hasn't been accused enough of being too progressive or not progressive enough, I'm going to put them under a microscope even more tonight. So first I'll start with the ageism in Disney movies. In the original cartoons of Snow White and 101 Dalmatians, the female villains are designed to look scary. The queen in Snow White looks older as a queen, but then she turns herself into a peddler. Instead of turning her to a young peddler, she makes herself look old and decrepit. With this disguise, she gains Snow White's trust and gives her the poisoned apple. And we all know what happens after that. With Cruella de Vil, she kidnaps the Dalmatians in order to make a coat for herself. And she also, by the way, is designed to look kind of older and scary and pretty crazy. So we already see old from these two examples is either murderer and kidnapper, which would make children afraid of growing older and maybe even afraid of older people. Let's continue on with racism in Disney films. In Peter Pan, the native characters are referred to as Redskins, and the creators of the film made the natives speak gibberish instead of making them speak in an actual native language. And their skin is actually red. We feel it pretty closely. And in Dumbo, there's a crow named Jim Crow, like the laws that used to be in our country. This character sings a musical number called a minstrel, which is a performance by a white actor with blackface makeup that is done mostly in the past, not nowadays. And this performance is either music, dance, or comedy with stereotypical depictions of Black people. And the actor who plays Jim, I found in my research, is white. Now, there's some movies that have stereotypical depictions of Asian features. In the movie Fantasia, we have the dancing mushrooms. And in two films called Aristocats and Lady and the Tramp, the cats in the films, one of the cats in Aristocats is named Shungan, who is given these features that are racist. And he's seen holding chopsticks while playing piano. And the two cats from Lady and the Tramp named Cy and Am are actually Siamese cats and also given these similar facial features as Sean Gunn. And they sing a song in the original cartoon called We Are Siamese. Finally, I'm going to talk about sexism in Disney films. Now, this one's a bit of a doozy. In A Bug's Life, Francis, who is a male ladybug, is catcalled by an audience member at this circus that Francis works for. The catcallers think he's a female based on how he's dressed. They say to him, "Hey, cutie, want to pollinate with the real bug?" Now let's just let that one sink in for a little bit. Overt sexual harassment in a children's movie. Beauty and the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, Belle loves to read. She's an intellectual female, but Gaston tells her that women shouldn't read. And then she's held against her will by the Beast, and she tries to fix him, the Beast, to tame him, which is problematic because it teaches women to stay in abusive relationships because like they should try to change their partners, make them better. And let's move on to Sleeping Beauty and Snow White. The princesses kiss the princes kiss the princesses while they're sleeping. If a guy would kiss a girl who's sleeping or passed out in real life, that is sexual assault, not romantic. In conclusion, given what I've just told you all, my goal is not to get you to boycott Disney. Instead, my intention is for you to watch, I guess, Disney movies or any movie really with an open mind and be aware that certain dialogues and characterizations create an image of marginalized people that can make children, anyone, think in a certain way. But on a positive note, Disney is taking steps to be more culturally sensitive and inclusive in their movies. Given the current climate of people being more aware of cultural insensitive depictions in these older films, which most of these are probably 50 plus years old, before certain movies, Disney Plus has a disclaimer that there are overt stereotypical depictions in some of these movies. And so, but there are also some movies that they're trying to make things a little better and more inclusive, as I said. So in the live action Lady and the Tramp, the cats Cy and Am are replaced by a different breed and don't sing We Are Siamese. They are given a different song to sing. In the movie Soul, even with the problematic dialogue, in the story is a positive characterization of Black people. And in the films Moana and Mulan, which is my favorite, both title characters' grandmothers are vital parts of their lives. They're not murderers, and they are not old and decrepit. Finally, there have been a lot of movies recently featuring strong female lead characters that are not only white, they're different ethnicities. We have Raya and the Dragon, we have Seeing Red, Encanto, and Moana, as I just talked about. So to answer the title of my speech, it seems like Disney hasn't been the most inclusive franchise on earth, but let's give them props for trying. These movies, the ones I was just talking about, will hopefully allow children to see people who are different from them in a more positive light. Thank you all so much.